Now, if we have 3 points that are non-collinear, or meaning they do not fall in a single line, they are forming, or they form a triangle. So suppose we have 3 points that are non-collinear. So let's say this point, and this point. So they don't fall in a single line. So let's connect that. Okay, let's call this point 1 with coordinates x1, y1. So, i-reco natin siya ng counterclockwise. Importante yan kasi especially sa analytic geometry, counterclockwise is positive, di ba? So, even in the application sa civil engineering, surveying, if you plot a surface, tapos yung coordinates niya clockwise mo, lalabas mong area dyan is negative. So, counterclockwise tayo. So, P1, if this point is P2, so this is x2, y2, and this point is P3. This is x3, y3. Okay, so these 3 points P1, P2, and P3 forms a triangle. Now, how do we find the area of this triangle? So, area of triangle. Okay, ako na lang din sasagot. If a triangle lies in the Cartesian plane, meaning may coordinates na siya, medyo komplikado na, di ba? Because we are describing points instead of sides. Kung sides sana, we can just apply the Heron's formula. So, pwede tayong mag-solve nito using Heron's formula, right? Using the distance formula, get this distance, get distance, get this distance. Then, you apply the Heron's or the Hero's formula, then you'll get the area. But that's too tedious. Masyadong mahaba yung process of getting the distance of each point. So, ang gagawin natin, let's just derive a process of solving the area of this triangle, which is applicable to any closed figure in a Cartesian plane or with coordinates yung points niya. And this is very applicable especially sa civil engineering, sa surveying. If you are surveying a land na coordinates lang yung mga reference points. Anyway, how do we solve this? Ako din sasagot. We solve this by ganito na lang. This point, extend ko pababa. Then I extend this also and this. Ayan. So, meron akong na-form na mga trapezoids. Familiar naman kayo sa trapezoid, di ba? So, this is usually ganyan yung trapezoid. Okay. Eto. We have this trapezoid number 1. And we have this trapezoid number 2. And we have this trapezoid number 3. And if you notice, if you add, halimbawa, you get the areas of these trapezoids. The area of this trapezoid plus the area of this trapezoid, the area of this trapezoid plus the area of this trapezoid. So, yan na yung area niya. Then, you subtract the area of this trapezoid, then you'll get this net area, the area of the triangle. Okay? Okay. So, we could do that. Now, the question is, how do we find the area of a trapezoid? So, kung nag-solid mensuration sana tayo, doon tayo magdi-derive. So, dito, gagawin natin, I'll just give you the area of a trapezoid. So, you compute the area of a trapezoid this way. If you have this trapezoid and you have this base and you have this height 1 and height 2, the area of a trapezoid is just equal to 1/2 the sum of the heights, okay, times the base. Yun lang. That's it. And if you notice again, this is actually the midpoint, no? This is the ordinate of the midpoint of this line segment. Okay? Ayan, no? That is very similar to what we have, ayan, what we have derived in the previous discussion. Okay. So, lagyan natin ng mga values yung mga parts ng netong figure. So let's start with this. This value is just y1, right? This value is y1. Okay? And this value, itong whole value na to, that is y2. Right? And of course, this value here, this length here, or height is y3. Diba? Ayan, describe. Ay, sorry. Mali pala ako. Mali. This is y3. And this is y2. Ayun, sorry. That's it. Now, so meron tayong mga height. This height and this height for this trapezoid. Now, let's look at the bases. So, etong base na to, that is the increment or the difference of the abscissa ng 0.3 and 0.1. So, ito yung difference niya, ang increment niya dito. So, that's x3 minus x1. Okay? And ito naman siya, this base here is the difference between the increment of x from P3 to P2 or P2 to P3. Okay? So, this is P2, this is x2 minus x3. Okay? And this base naman, para sa isusubtract natin na trapezoid, for this trapezoid, ang base niya is the difference or the increment from P1 to P2. So, that's x2 minus x1. So, yun lang. So, like I described kanina, we solve the area of this triangle. That's equal to area of the trapezoid 1 plus area of the second trapezoid plus area of the third trapezoid. So, this is trapezoid 1, trapezoid 2, and trapezoid 3. Okay, let's do that. So, area is equal to 1/2 times y1 plus y3 times x3 minus x1. Okay. Plus 1/2 trapezoid 2, that's y3 and y2. So, pwede na natin interchange na lang para magkasunod-sunod. y2 plus y3. So, I'm looking at this. Anyway, it's addition, so okay lang mag-interchange. Times the base, which is x2 minus x3. Then, subtract that with 1/2 y1 plus y2 times x2 minus x1. We'll just simplify this. That would be area. We'll factor out 1/2. Common siya sa tatlo. So let's factor out 1/2. Then we multiply this or expand this by using, of course, FOIL. So by using FOIL, so we'll have this, this, then this, this, then this. So unahin natin yung x, that would be x3 y1 plus, minus x1 y1, then plus x3 y3, and then minus x1 y3. Okay, ayan. So let's proceed dito, let's expand that. So plus x2 y2 minus x3 y2, then plus x2 minus x3 y3. And then we'll proceed to the next, minus x2 y1. So let me check that again. X plus x2, then minus y2, x1 y2. Okay. Let's rearrange. Area is equal to 1/2 times, kung i-rearrange natin siya, i-separate natin yung mga positive and negative. So, unahin natin yung mga positive x3. Dito sa baba, that would be plus x2y2 plus x2y3. So, this time, yung mga positive dito is ito at ito. So, plus x1, y1, 2. Now, yung mga negative naman is yung negative x1, y1, y3, negative x3, y2, negative x3, y3, and negative x2, y1, and negative y2. Okay, so these are the negative parts. So let's compare. I think some could be cancelled out. So we can cancel out this. We could also cancel out this. And also ito. We'd cancel that out. Now, rearrange tayo further. If we rearrange that further, unahin natin yung x1. Meron ba? Ito, x1. Ito muna. How about kung unahin ko si x1, y2 plus x2, y3 plus x3, y1 minus, unahin naman dito natin si, okay na yan, x2, y1 minus x3, y2 and minus x1, y3. So, this is now the equation. But this equation is too long to memorize and quite confusing. So, there is a very easy way of remembering this formula. We'll write this in matrix form. Okay? So, in matrix form, there is 1/2 times the determinant. So, sa matrix, hindi pa tayo nakadiscuss ng matrix. This is a matrix, symbol for matrix, the determinant is this. Okay. So, in determinant form or matrix and determinant form, it would be written this way. x1, y1, 1, x2, y2, 1, and x3, y3, 1. So, we just have a 3 by 3 matrix. And if you get the determinant of that, yung I'm not sure if tapos na kayo nito. But the determinant is, ito yung lang yung pattern. This times this times this. So, x1 times y2 times 1. Ito yun. Then, y1 times 1 times x3. Ito yun. Tapos, 1 times x2 times y3. Ito yun. Then, minus, pag ganun ka naman. But kung di pa kayo familiar with matrix, ganito na lang. By the way, sa ganitong form, you can use your calculator, matrix mode of your calculator to solve for the area. Sobrang dali. Pero, much more easier. Ganito na lang. Pattern na lang tayo. You may write it this way. x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, then go back to x1, y1. Then the pattern is like this. This times this, plus this times this, plus this times this, minus this times this, this times this, this times this. Ayan, tingnan natin. So, x1 times y2 plus x2 times y3 plus x3 times y1. That one. Okay? So, ganito. This. Then, yung dito direction naman, that would be negative. So, minus, eto na, x2 times y1. So, x3 times y2. Then, x1 times y3. So, ganun siya. So, eto na lang pwedeng tandaan nyo na formula for the triangle. Now, this formula, we could generalize this to get the area of any closed figure sa Cartesian. Okay, pwede natin siya extend. So, kahit di siya triangle, pwede natin makuha yung area using this formula or this form or this method. So, kung i-generalize natin, that would be 1/2 times x1, x2, x3 up to x sub n. Then, babalik tayo sa x1. X sub n meaning up to nth na side or nth na vertex. Then, y1, y2, y3 up to kung ilan yung vertex niya. Tapos balik tayo sa y1. So, that's the area. Ganun lang. You just apply that to any closed figure na given yung coordinates. Okay? So, let's try an example. Let's call this problem 15-5. It's just the same triangle dun sa previous example natin. Find the area of the triangle with vertices at eto. So, that's the same of the triangle na we answered dito. Okay? Now, to get the area of this, gawin lang natin itong pattern na to. So, you just write the abscissa in an array and also the coordinates in an array form. Okay. So, area is just equal to 1/2 of area. So, sulat natin as an array. So, let's start with the x, yung mga value ng x. So, that's -2, 1, 5. Then, balik tayo sa -2. So, ito lang. -2, 1, 5. Then, balik tayo sa -2. Then, sa y naman, that's 0, -2, 4. Then, balik tayo sa 0. So, ito yan. 0, -2, 4. Then, balik tayo sa 0. And, yun na. Then, yung basket na. Area is equal to 1/2 times this times this. So, that's positive 4. Plus this times this. Positive 4. Then, plus this times this, 0. Then, minus this, 0. Sulat ko lang kahit 0. Then, minus this, that's -10. So, minus -10. Then, this times this, that's -8. Minus -8. Then, simplify. That would be 8 plus 10, 18 plus 8. So, 18 plus 8, that's 26. 26. 1/2 of 26 is 13. So, the area is 13 square units. Yun lang. Okay, let's have this another example. Problem 15-6. Find the area of the pentagon connecting the points 3, 0, 2, 3, 1, -1, 2, -2, -1, and 0, -3. Okay, parang madali lang. Kasi, although pentagon siya, I can always use this same pattern. Etong pattern pa rin. Up to x5 lang tayo. So, meaning yung area natin is 1/2 times x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, then return to x1. Then y1, y2, y3, y4, y5, then return to, y1. Okay? So, just use that pattern. But for the sake of illustration, let me plot these points sa graphing tool. So, let's use Desmos. So, this is now our pentagon. So, here is our pentagon. So, let's just connect these points. Obviously, this is not a regular pentagon because the distances of the sides are not the same. Ayan. Anyway, we can solve the problem without drawing this. This is just for the sake of illustration. Okay? But, follow lang natin yung pattern. So, area is equal to 1/2. Then, we'll just follow the pattern. Let's write the coordinates. Ganito na lang. Isabay ko na lang yung x and y. So, that's 3, 0, 2, 3, -1, 2, negative 2, sorry, yeah, negative 2, negative 1, and 0, negative 3. Then let's return to 3, 0. Ganun. That's it. Then the same pattern will have area is equal to 1 half times this one, 3 times 3. So kahit di ko na, you know what I'm doing? This. Okay. So that would be 9 plus 4 plus 1 plus 6. Then minus 0 minus, okay, minus 0 minus negative 3 minus negative 4, then minus 0, then minus negative 9. Okay, so area now is equal to 1 half. Then we'll just add this up. So that's 1 half times, times 9 plus 4 plus 1 plus 6 plus 3 plus 4 plus 9. So the area is 18. Yun lang pala. So the area is 18 square units. Ganon siya kadali. Okay, suppose we have this problem 15-7. Determine the vertices of a triangle. Ay, kulang. So, vertices of the triangle whose sides have midpoints 1, 0, 2, negative 1, and 3, 1. So, yung given dito is the midpoints of the sides of a triangle. So, hanapin natin what are the vertices of a triangle. I think this is very easy. Very easy pa rin. So, let's graph this first. So, I won't use Desmos anymore kasi madali lang naman to. So, let's start with these coordinates which are, let me use another color, 1, 0. Let's say this is 1, 0. And 2, negative 1. So, 2, negative, this one. And 3, 1. So, 1, 2, 3. Ito. Remember, these are midpoints of the vertices of a triangle. So, kung midpoint to sila, I would imagine that the vertices, oh no, the sides of the triangle is going like this. Uy, may multo. The sides going like this. Wait, ayusin natin. Not drawn to scale, but nag-assume lang tayo. So, more or less, it's like that. Okay? Although, could not be accurate. Anyway, so ang gagawin ko dito, I just label this as, this point, I label this as point 1. Of course, coordinates niya is x1, y1. I'll label this as point 2. That's x2, sorry. That's x2, y2. Remember, counterclockwise lagi orientation natin. And I'll label this as point 3, which is x3, y3. Okay. Now, if 1, 0 is the midpoint between, ano unahin natin? Oh, ito na lang. Point 1 to point 2 na lang. If 3, 1 is the midpoint between P1 and P2, you know the midpoint formula, right? Midpoint, xm, is equal to 1 half x1 plus x2. Same as ym, y1 plus y2. So now, sa xm natin, that's 3. So 3 is equal to 1 half x1 plus x2. So that means x1, x1 plus x2 is equal to 6. Okay, sunod. So y naman, 1 is equal to 1 half y1 plus y2. So therefore, y1 plus y2 is equal to 1. Ayan. So let's proceed to the next point. Yung next point naman natin is between P2 and P3. So between P2 and P3, so looking at this, P2 and P3, 1 is equal to 1 half of x2 plus x3. Okay? So that means x2 plus x3 is 2. Now, pagdating sa y, 0 is equal to 1 half y2 plus y3. So that means y2 plus y3 is equal to 0. Then let's proceed to between P1 and P3. So pwede natin baliktarin ulit. Unahin natin yung x1 kasi plus naman. Then we'll say that 2 is equal to 1 half x1 plus x3. So it means that x1 plus x3 is 4. And negative 1 is equal to 1 half of y1 plus y3. So that means y1 plus y3 is negative 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equations because we have 6 unknowns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So anim yung unknown, so we need 6 equations. So let's start with etong mga x. Okay, unahin natin yung mga x. So let me copy this. So para sa mga x, paano yan? This is 4. Okay, para sa mga x, we have 3 equations for 3 unknowns. So pwede naman tayo mag-elimination lang or just plain substitution. So we'll answer this as, first I'll eliminate x2 here. Or, sige, pwede naman dito. I'll combine these two, then the combination, I'll solve this simultaneously with this, the third equation. So, x1 plus x2 is equal to 2 minus x3. So that would be 2 minus x3, which is equal to 6. So that means yung x2 dito, I'll just substitute it here. I just substituted with the value of x2 from here. Okay, so that means x1 minus x3 is equal to 4. Now, if you compare this to this equation, pwede natin silang i-add na lang, di ba? Pag i-add natin sila, maka-cancel out yung x3. So let's do that. So that would be 2x1, then negative x3 plus x3, that's 0, then 4 plus 4, that's 8, equal to 8. So therefore x1 is equal to 4. So if x1 is equal to 4, we can now solve for x2. Okay, how about x2? 4 plus x2 is 6. So therefore x2 is equal to 2. Okay, and how about x3? Ano pwedeng gamitin natin? Any equation, you can use this. So x2 is 2 plus x3 is equal to 2. So that means x3 is just 0. x1 is 4, x2 is 2, x3 is 0. So this time we'll be solving for the values of y. So what I will do is I'll copy itong equation with y. Okay, so I corrected the value of y. The first equation, I corrected the value of the first equation, y1 plus y2. That should be equal to 2. Okay, kasi ito. Sorry. Nagkamali pala dito. That should be equal to 2. I'm so sorry. So, if we just use our calculator to solve for y1 to y3, so we could use the equation mode of our calculator. That would be this, 3 unknowns. This one. So the first column, that is the coefficients of y1. Second column B, that's the coefficients of y2. The third column C is the coefficients of y3. And the third column is the constants at the right side of the equation. So nasa taas ng calculator, that is the pattern, okay, of the equation. So yung A, B, C, and D, those are the coefficients, the numerical coefficients. Now, for the first equation, y1 plus y2 equals 2, That means the coefficient of y1 is 1, the coefficient of y2 is 1, and there's no y3, so that means the coefficient is 0. Then the constant is 2. So you fill that up for the three equations. So the second equation, that would be 0, 1, 1, 0. And the third equation is 1 and negative 2. Okay, then you hit equal. By the way, the default of the calculator is x, but actually, yung x natin dyan is itong mga y. So don't worry kasi calculator kasi yung pinasolve natin. So with the aid of the calculator, that means y1 is 0, y2 is 2, and y3 is negative 2. And by the way, you can simple lang naman to kahit di kayo mag-calculator, because you can always do what we did here. Ito, by substitution. Mas madali ito kasi may 0 dito. Okay? So therefore, having this, so let me copy this. So therefore, the vertices of the triangle, so here's our final answer. Therefore, the vertices of the triangle are, that's 4, 0, 2, 2, and 0, negative 2. So that's our answer. Very easy. Try this problem. The vertices of a triangle, the vertices of triangle ABC are given by this. So we have to find letter A, equation of side AB, letter B, equation of median from A to BC, and letter C, the altitude from B to AC. So these are just easy problems. Wala masyadong challenge. So we'll start by i-plot muna natin yung triangle. Okay, using a graphing tool, I plotted the points, or I plotted the triangle on the Cartesian plane. For the first requirement for this problem, letter A, we need to find the equation of side AB. So A, oh wait, let's label this first pala. This is A, B is 6, 2, this is B, and this is C. Okay, what is the equation of side AB? So just refer to the figure. Okay. Now we do that, apply na lang natin yung equation ng slope, di ba? So we have slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and the slope is constant to all points. So therefore, pwede nating, if we are looking at, let's say x1, let's say our x1 is A, and we are looking at any point dito with coordinates xy, so generalize na lang. If we compare, we are comparing the two, that would be y2 minus, that would be y minus y1 over x minus x1. And the same slope din siya dito. So pwedeng i-transform natin yung equation natin to y minus y1 over x minus x1 equal to, just copy this. Copy, paste. Yan. So therefore, y minus, anong y1 natin? That's 1 over x minus negative 1. That's equal to, this time the slope, that would be y2 natin is 2 minus 1 over, over 6 minus negative 1. Yan, 6 minus negative 1. And that is equal to 1 over 7. So transposing 7 to the other side, and transposing this to the other side, that will give us 7 times y minus 1 equal to 1 times x plus 1. And 7y minus 7 is equal to x plus 1. So in general, or in standard form, that would be x minus 7y equal to negative 8. So that is the equation of side AB. Now, for the second, okay, this is our answer for letter A. Now, for letter B, equation of the median to BC. Okay, when we say median, that is a median divides a segment or a side of a figure into two equal parts. So, median to BC daw, or median from A to BC, meaning you are trying to get the equation for this. Kita? Ito, median meaning midpoint to dito. So, let's get the equation of that line that will pass through that. Ito. Ayan. So, what we'll do first is to get the median. I mean the midpoint. Solving for the midpoint of BC. So, madali lang naman. XM is equal to 1/2. You just add the values of x. So, that's 2 plus 6. So, 1/2 of 8 is 4. Okay? Yung drawing ko kasi di accurate. So, dapat dito pala to. Ito yung midpoint niya. Di ganun yung gawin natin. Let's change this one. Ito yung hinahanap. Yan. Anyway, how about the value of the ordinate? Y, M is equal to 1/2. Then we just add the values of Y. That's 5 and 2. So, that's 1/2 of 7. So, 7 halves. Okay na yan. So, therefore, the midpoint here is 4 and 7 over 2. Ayan. So, using the same formula, sige. Y minus y1 over x minus x1 equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So, ito na lang yung ano natin, point 1. Ito yung point 2 natin. Then, ito yung xy. Sorry. Ito yung point 1 natin. Ito yung point 2 natin. Okay? So, this will be our x1, y1. This will be our x2, y2. Okay. So, that would be y minus, let's start with this muna, minus 1 over x minus negative 1. That's equal to 7 halves minus 1 over 4 minus negative 1. Then simplify. So this is equal to 7 halves minus 1. That would be 5 halves over 5. So that's 5 halves over 5. So cancel out. That's 1/2. Right? We could cancel this out. Okay. So therefore, just cross multiply this, ganyan, then this here. So we'll have 2 times y minus 1 equal to x plus 1. So we'll have 2y minus 2 equal to x plus 1. So the equation of the line in general form is x minus 2y equal to negative 3. Ayan. So that would be our answer. So this is our answer for letter B. Now for letter C, altitude from B to AC. Okay, altitude. When we say altitude, or the equation of the altitude. Sorry, kulang pala to. Kasi di naman siya naka-specify kung what exactly is being asked here. So, we are actually asking about the equation of the altitude from B to C. Let's complete this. Yan, equation of the altitude from B to AC. Okay, so when we say altitude, that is the perpendicular distance. Okay, so dapat meron tayong, the altitude is perpendicular to AC. AC ba? Oh, yeah, AC. So, eto siya. Yun nga lang, I cannot do, mahirap siya yung drawing accurately, no? Kasi masyado na siyang malapit sa 90 degrees. Anyway, sige lang. So, to get the equation of this line, we know that if this line is perpendicular to AC, that means the slope of this line is the negative reciprocal of the slope. So we need to get the slope of AC kasi given naman yung 2 points niya. We need to get the slope of AC, then get the negative reciprocal of that. That would be the slope of the altitude. And the altitude passes through B, which is at coordinate 6, 2. So yun lang gagawin natin. So unang gagawin natin is to solve for the slope of AC. Okay? So for the slope of AC, that means MAC. So that would be 5 minus 1. Sabihin natin. 5 minus 1 over, let me see, 2 minus negative 1. So that's 4 over 3. So the slope of AC is 4 over 3. So therefore, the slope of the altitude is the negative reciprocal of 4/3, which is negative 3/4. Ayun. So we have now the slope. Next is, we have a point. It passes through 6, 2. So the slope is negative 3/4 and it passes through B, which is 6, 2. So we have now the slope and the point. Okay? So, pwede natin gamitin tong formula na to. Ito. Scratch tayo, ha? This is the point-slope form. This is based on the equation of the slope. Okay? So, we know that the slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Then, kung given naman yung slope, we don't need another point x2, y2, right? So, pwede i-compare na lang natin siya sa general coordinate na x1, y1. So, therefore, we could rewrite this to y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1, where x1, y1 is the given coordinate or the given point. So in this case, yung x1, y1 natin is the point B, 6, 2. And given sad yung, or given din yung slope or our m. So yun na lang. So ulitin natin na by point slope form, that is y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. So y minus y1, ano yung y natin? That's 2. So y minus 2 equal to m, slope which is 3/4, times x minus, yung x natin is 6. Then simplify. So transpose 4 to the other side, that would be 4y minus 8, that is equal to, distribute negative 3, negative 3x plus 18. Then rearrange na lang, ito, lipat natin sa kabila. So that's 3x plus 4y equals, this will become 18. Ito, i-transpose natin dito. 18 plus 8, 26. Let us try to check our answers using a graphing tool. So, i-retrieve natin si Desmos. Then, i-try natin i-plot yung answers natin kung tama ba. So, ito yung mga points natin. The equation of A, x minus 7y equals to negative 8. It's the line that passes through negative 1, 1 and yung isang vertex which is was that 6, 2, 6, 2, ayan. So as you can see, ayan, coincide siya. So correct. So our next answer was, wait, supposed to, ayan. Ito yung next answer natin, yung sa midpoint. I-check natin. So that's x minus 2y equals negative 3. Okay, and so as you can see, it still passes through negative 1, 1. And dapat mag-pass din siya at 4, the midpoint dun sa kabila, 4, 7 halves. Ayan. And it did. Ayan. Sorry. Ayan. Nawala na yung scale. Okay. So, yung altitude naman, yung altitude natin, anyway, sige, lagay natin yung other coordinate, which is 2, 5. Nandyan siya. Tapos, and the equation of the altitude. Paano yan? 3x 4y 26. So that's 3x plus 4y equals 26. So nandyan siya. So if you notice, again, it passed through, so meaning 90 degrees talaga siya. Because it passed through the vertices